Hi. So it's a new year and I'm finally back from going to family over Christmas. I was dealing with a cold, as you can probably hear. I just went through a fever about, not last night, but the night before, so I'm still a little loopy. If you hear music in the background, it's just my housemate, don't worry about that. It's not too much of a problem, but anyways. And also my fridge is going on in the background. There's a lot of sound pollution going on right now, I apologise, but there's not much I can do about that. So today I'm going to talk about something, because since I just returned from visiting my family, I'm going to talk about how was my first 30 days of being on my own. Now I'm not going to count the month and a half I was house sitting at my friend's house because I was busy dealing with kittens and then hanging out with my friends and stuff like that. So I wouldn't necessarily count that because it wasn't really my home. Now I live here in my apartment. It's a bit of a different deal. But it's not an apartment, it's a room in a shared house, but you get what I mean. Now that roughly started at the beginning of December, so it's more like 3 weeks of me being on my own, because from the 24th on I was in my family home again. It was still a really large learning curve. It was a lot that went on. Moving in was a bit of a big deal. Obviously, of course, getting the rent sorted, trying to get my Dutch account sorted, trying to get my furniture moved in, assembling said furniture. There's still a screw I need to replace on this bed, sofa bed, because I kind of ruined the screw. Yeah. After finally moving in my furniture, everything was getting into place. I'd started work. I had frustrating situation because I was dealing with a new kind of payment system, stuff like that, where I had to input my own hours and it was all online. And coming from a town where I get cash in hand, or the hours are done by my employer, it's something I was more used to. I was used to far more primitive technology than this all online stuff. It was something I wasn't really used to, but I'm getting the hang of. I still haven't got paid for my for the hour before Christmas, so but I think that's just because the holidays are happening and everyone's off at holiday, so the stuff won't be processed till next week, that kind of thing. I've noticed I have been budgeting a lot. I've been hyperfixating on numbers, on how much my rent will be, how much my health insurance will be, how much I get paid, will I be able to make said payments, stuff like that. I've been very stressed out about that. I will be able to pay my rent and health insurance. I don't know when I'm paying my health insurance yet, because I'm still sorting that out. So I'm trying my best not to get injured until that's sorted out. And everything seems to be falling into place. I have a tendency to hyperfixate on stuff like that. Especially on finances and numbers, because of my dyslexia. I tend to be much better with numbers, so every other day I'll be calculating how much I make, how much I need to pay, how much I could make in a certain amount of time. That seems to be a thing that's happening with me, and it's still happening, so I'm just working with it. It makes me feel better, because every time I check my numbers I seem to be still doing okay, even at the worst situation, but I'm pulling through. That's what matters. Well, after all of this kerfuffle and just fighting and fighting and fighting just to make it through all my documents, all my rent and stuff like that, I am finally finding a rhythm. Now, I did have to get 2 jobs to kind of stay on top of my bills, and I don't know when I'm working next with one of my jobs. So I'm a little on edge still, but I'm finding a rhythm, and that's good. I'm still feeling great. I wasn't feeling great a couple of days ago because I was in the middle of a fever and having the worst dreams, but when I'm healthy, I'm happy. It seems to be the case. I know that I'm 80% of the way back to health. I'm feeling pretty good, and I'll be working this evening. So there's a few things I will point out that I've noticed in the last 30 days that I am putting into habits. They are healthy habits, but I will say I do prep for work a lot earlier than I need to, which is probably a good thing because it means I'll be on work on time. But it does take a large portion out of my day that I could be doing other things. Like, I tend to prep about 2 hours before work, and I really should just do it an hour before or a half hour before at latest, but apparently I like being over prepared. Either way, I do get to my job on time, and I enjoy my jobs, so I don't mind. Another thing I really enjoy and have found is a thing I keep on doing is budgeting with food and general necessities. I will only buy what I need and not what I want. I always make sure to eat before I go to the grocery store, so that I don't just go and buy the bar chocolate or the ice cream or just things that I'm craving. I generally usually have like a nice big meal before going for groceries and taking a list of things that I've prepped for what I'll probably be eating for a week. It's usually what I do, and I try to keep it under €5. But I'll go into more detail about that in my budgeting video. Another thing is I really enjoy is having full control over my room. Now, I don't get to paint walls or put like holes in the walls for paintings and stuff like that, sure, but having full control of what furniture's in my room, how it's organized, how it's cleaned, is something I really enjoy, because I like being a certain kind of organized. Now, this obviously doesn't translate when I'm home for some reason, because it gets super messy, but when I'm in my own room, in my own place that I pay for, I seem to get a certain level of organized and cleanliness, which is good, because I take a certain responsibility for it. And this is something I didn't think would happen. Now, it's a little bit messy at the moment because I've been ill for the last 3 days. Well, technically a week, because I've only been home for about 2 days. I really enjoy just organizing stuff, making sure everything's nice and clean, because having my living space clear and clean makes me feel better, because I have more headspace as well. I'm not looking at all this clutter and stuff. So it's really nice and puts me in a good mood and gets me ready for the next day. I tend to clean usually later in the evenings to, you know, prep myself for tomorrow. So when I wake up, I don't have to clean anything, I don't have to organize anything. I just have to flick on the kettle, make my cup of coffee, do any morning preparations I need to do, and go to work in the morning if I have work in the morning, or just relax, do some homework, and yeah, just chill out. Throughout these 30 days, it's been a wild ride. There's been a lot of ups, there's been a lot of downs. It's been all over the place. It's been quite a messy month. But the things I've learned over the last 30 days is I can be independent. I am a capable human being. I have learned that I can be a little bit OCD about my own place. I've learned that having a routine, especially morning routines, really does set the mood for the day. I keep like a schedule. I have my 2019 journal ready to be used for Tuesday, and I have been prepping it. Keeping a journal really does help me, and I will go into depth about how I journal, because it actually is quite important for my day. And I really hope to stick to it this time, because normally I would do it for like a couple of weeks and then I'd kind of trail off and then go into digital, but I really want to do a carbon copy kind of journal this time and really go into it, because then I can like doodle on it, I can write on it. And yeah, I just bought like a cheap €2 journal. But now that the 30 days are over, I'm looking on to the next 30, which is January, and things I want to do differently are continue working really hard, try and work as much as I can to get at least a bit of money saved, and make sure I eat healthy, get some fruit in, because I haven't got any fruit in at the moment, so I probably should get some oranges to help with this flu, or this cold. And continue with eating healthy, because I have been eating quite healthy apart from Christmas. That was a lot of eating, and sure, all of it was healthy, but there was a lot of overeating. So yeah, next year I'm hopefully gonna try and persuade my family to not cook so much for me. I appreciate that they cook vegetarian for me, but that was a lot of food. A lot of food for 4 days. And because I had a cold, I couldn't really tell if I was hungry or not, so I just kind of kept on eating until I thought it was good enough, which was probably way too much. Only really today I realised my appetite, and sure, the last 2 days I've been under eating. I've only been eating maybe like lunch, so it's kind of complicated, but that's not really healthy to do it like that. Another thing is to drink more water, because I only drink like about a litre of water a day, and I want to kind of bump that up to 2. I've been trying to do that, but I am lazy and just can't be bothered reminding myself to drink water. But yeah, this ties in with my healthy routine. I think that's everything that I need to talk about this. If there are any New Year's resolutions that you're working on for January, please leave it in the comments below. I'd love to know. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video.